Now we put something new in because we only covered it briefly on day 1 and 2, and that's variations to the theme. Because of course, not every day needs to be a perfect cycle, and it is impossible that it can happen like that. So we have a London knockout as well, and that's when sometimes there is no New York reversal depending on your higher time frames. That's why we're starting combining higher time frame approaches to the whole picture, because sometimes it's enough if you have your minor inducement in Frankfurt, medium inducement in London, and then the whole day is just ranging. And that happens a lot when, for example, you're in a bigger time zone, right? Let's say this is your extreme in here. All right, so this is your extreme play, which is your final supply zone. This is your demand zone. Sorry, your decisional in here. You have your inducement here. And then you have an internal break of structures. Now let's say you're having Asia session in here. What does it do? Makes a fake out in here, taps into this one, just reverses. Obviously not much. Now this becomes a decisional play in here. And of course, now this becomes Asia. What can you have? Inducement low. And then guess what? What's the next target? It's all the way up here. It will not reverse randomly in this middle of nowhere. So that's where London is here. And then of course you have an inducement low, and then it continues all day long until what? Next Asia range is here. Have maybe an inducement high to tap into this valid zone now, and then reverses lower. But you have days like this where the whole day is just ranging. As why? Because of the bigger picture plays in here where you have inducement low, and then the whole day is just a trending day after that. And yeah, that's like literally happens so many times, and we even show you because they only have so much in their books. You have to remember they are very limited to what they can do. They only have so many tricks in their books of how a day can look like. So we have our perfect daily cycle where they give you the inducement low, inducement high, and then reverses in New York, or a little bit later. Can be London close as well, and then the reverse. It's always the same answer for reversal. Or they have these trending days, or a third variation, or this time variation 2 of the daily cycle, is the retail heaven. Because sometimes they even induce the right direction, then they fake a break of structure, and then they just continue lower. So the whole day is pretty much one big trending day. Of course, we can trade them as well. They're a little bit annoying though, because it usually gives, in general, very less trading opportunities, but it's just a retail heaven. Why? Because it's just a trending day. And of course, retail traders, they love the trend. For example, this scenario in here, it's actually a joke. If you remember just this picture, that is perfectly what happened on Friday. So they only have so much in the books. So if we look at this, so let's take a look at EU and GU in the last days, only the actual days, because we don't want to show you stuff from, again, 15 years ago. We want to show you recent stuff. So let's take a look at it. So only last day. So this was the 23rd of September, which is last Thursday. What do we have? Variation to the theme. It's either EU or GU. So nothing more, nothing fancy, nothing cherry picked. But that's what you have. We have a retail heaven in here, but it's just, again, breaking out high, perfect in London open. But guess what? Bigger picture said you continue higher. Then we will know exactly what that trade is today. And then it just continue higher, higher, higher. And there is no reversal trade in here. Same thing for GU. It was a retail heaven as well. Then we have GU on this Tuesday. What did we have? A perfect London knockout where they induced high in Frankfurt. Again, it's still technically a London knockout. It doesn't matter if the timing is Frankfurt in here. Asia range just knocked out all the liquidity. What do they do? Building up trends before the knockout in here. Grabbed enough liquidity, enough to make the whole freaking day trending. And that, of course, becomes a London knockout trade. What do we have as well? We have the London knockout for GU this Wednesday, right? It's the same exact trick. That's even very nice to trade it. Guess what you have? You have your, minor inducement here, medium inducement here, false break of structure, messes around in here. Finally, after they grabbed enough liquidity, perfect momentum grab comes all the way that now to the extreme mitigation traded. Guess what you have? You have your minor inducement here, medium inducement here, false break of structure, messes around in here. Finally, after they grabbed enough liquidity, perfect momentum grab comes all the way back down. Everyone should understand that now to the extreme mitigation, perfect, and then of course can continue the whole day down. And I think a few people even caught that. For whatever reason, you shouldn't have not traded at all. But yeah, there you go. Perfect stuff, just a little bit. And you see it's always the same stuff. Maybe it looks a little bit different in terms of like, this is not perfect in terms of like this huge break of structure in here. But again, it's the same exact thing. That's why you need to get the bigger time play or the bigger play in your head. What do we have in here? Again, GU this first day, it's the same thing as again. What is it? A full daily cycle. You have a perfect inducement of London Open, right? What do they do? Of course, inducing high, going higher. And now the reversal happens when? A little bit later, New York close. Doesn't technically always need to happen here. You never had a break of structure, so that keeps you out of the whole scenario. Again, then finally, New York closes and then they're reversing here. So that's a daily cycle. It's always the same, guys. What do we have here? GU yesterday, right? Obviously Friday then. So even Friday, what is it going on? London knockout. What do we have? Perfect inducement of London Open. Grabbed enough liquidity to what? Push the whole price higher and higher and higher. What does London close to? Mitigates the position out of that. And of course, continues higher. It's the same stuff, guys. What do we have in here? EU yesterday. What was it? It was a retail heaven. Why? They induced high. By the way, this for us is heaven. Because you will understand this trade and you will love it. It's so easy. It happens so many times. It's freaking amazing. It's just, it can be confusing if you always think like inducement high and then it should be like this. No, that's why we have variations to the theme. It always happens to the left. And this, for example, this trade in here, that's like a Mona Lisa trade. That's literally like one of a Mona Lisa trade. And then of course you expect higher price action. It doesn't need to be inducement high all the time low. That's why we have variations, right? And it's the same shit. That's pretty much all they got. They only have like those little variations. We will add after this bootcamp, we will add the Asia whipsaw as well, which gives you also two different new variations because they mix it up a little bit more. But in general, they only have 5 plays in total they can do for the day. Your only job is to identify what's going on to the left and see what play they're doing. The rest, it's always the same. It's always the same. It's the same intentions. It's just you not getting confused. Whatever. This is Asia low. They induced high, so it needs to go like this. No, identify the left and see it will become, maybe becomes like here. Whatever, you have a decisional down there, but then the next supply is all the way up here. So again, if they induce low London here, they will go up until they reach here. So if New York is here, of course you will have a continuation trade. It doesn't need to reverse all the time. That's where you need to start combining the higher time frame into the whole picture. But there's only so much they can do. So in a nutshell, the full daily cycles, again, we will show that in the commands as well, because that's all they have. We will add Asia whipsaws on top of that, and you have every single variation there is. There's nothing more. They just mix it up. Maybe one day it's picture perfect clean. Maybe the other day it's not that clean. But if you look at it, the intention is always the same. That's why it's market intentions first, then build up inducement mitigation and looking to the left. Again, very good quote. Look to the left to be right, and then you will understand what is going on here. Variation 1 was GU yesterday to the T. It's literally not even yesterday. If you look like months ago, it's the same shit all over again. They only have so much in their pocket, and we figured that out. So just think about that. Again, on a bigger picture, even if you only look at the 5 minute, what is it going on here? Asia range, again, we talked about it so many times. London Open, induces it perfectly, comes back after, what is it? Break of structure. What do they do? Build mitigations in here, imbalances, comes back. Perfect extreme mitigation to do what? Go higher, right? So breaks structure to the left here. What's the extreme in this case? Now it's going here. What does London Open do in here? Perfectly inducement lower, minor first. Then goes into the mitigation. When does it happen? Perfect London Open to go what? Go higher. Right now you're looking at a reversal trade because you need to look to the left as well. You have an inducement here, 1, 2, 3 false inducements to the high side. Finally, you're getting what? Break of structure, which locks in the inducement plus what is it? Timing confirmed. Awesome. Break of structure after the timing inducement. Now you're having finally the break of structure. What did it left? Imbalances. So you're looking for a reversal. So this is a perfect daily cycle, right? So guess what? Next day, you see there's the liquidity down here. They're just inducing high in London, Asia. Technically, the best inducement, of course, is high. They never gave it. So this is not an inducement. It's an equal lows. So just because if you look at this day, like here, and think like, oh, inducement low should go higher now. No, look to the left. It never induced, it builds equal lows. So guess what? They will only fake the inducement here, the internal play, to go what? The next valid inducement zone to fake whatever higher highs, inducement high to do what? To go lower, to grab the next liquidity zone in here. This is the inducement now, so they never need to induce like this point in here because to the left it was the inducement. What does Asia do? Just induce internal, what? Internal inducement, right? Awesome. You can trade that probably. And you understand, okay, what's next? Need to go higher now. So there's no reversal in here. It doesn't need to be. Needs to go aim for at least in the internal day until this zone's in here. Missed it. Next day. Now you know, okay, should go to higher highs now. Okay, what do? Induce low, equal lows, into what? Into your decisional. Mitigation. When does do it? To the minute. Okay, what do? Break of structure, internal now. Never broke something to the left in here. No inducement, nothing. You're looking to what? Internal inducement into mitigation. Continuation. It's easy stuff. It's like clockwork. It's always the same. You just need to understand the bigger picture and see the variations to the theme. It's always the same, guys. It's the only job you need to do is not getting confused by days like this, where they induce low, but never induce something to the left, instead building even up liquidities with equal lows. And then you don't expect a breakout here. You don't know if it's done here. That's why you wait for break of structures, and then you trade the mitigation or continuation trades later, right? But of course, we'll show you today. On a bigger picture, we will not do it all the time, but you see, you can just zoom out and you will understand the bigger picture. Guess what? For example, random one in here. Induces here. So why does Asia be induced here? It does not. It would be nicer, of course, but that's why, guess what? This day in here is just, look at it. It's just a retail heaven. Why? Because this is the medium inducement in here. To do what? To go higher. So why would you look for a reversal in here if they induce low? You're looking for the next what? Inducement high. What do they do here? You know that the inducement will come, but for an internal day now, look at it. Look at the bigger picture. Asia range, inducement high into the supply zone to do what? Build up liquidity with the equal lows here. To do what? The next day, faking the supply zone to do what? Go lower. Inducement high. Finally, medium inducement. Now it can go lower. It's the same shit all over again. You just need to see the bigger picture and then you can apply it. Look to the left, and that's what we'll do starting from tomorrow and also day 5 and 6, where we show you exactly how to trade this properly. But first, see the bigger picture. It will help you so much. We showed you now all these days in a nutshell of how you can trade these days, for example. Right? But now we need to start to combine everything together. Same thing here. It's the inducement here. So why the hell does it need to induce higher here and then go? It's all the same, guys. Just look to the left and it will be so much clearer.